All right, get ready. We're about to do a deep dive on how to prepare for a blockchain architect interview.
And we're going to be using some really interesting resources from RoleCatcher for this deep dive.
Think of this as your like cheat sheet
Yeah.
for navigating this, kind of complex world.
Secret weapon.
Yeah, secret weapon. RoleCatcher is, this platform that helps people kind of figure out their career path in the tech world.
Absolutely.
But before we jump into all the nitty-gritty interview stuff, let's kind of set the stage.
Yeah, the basics.
What exactly does a blockchain architect do? What does that even mean?
So a blockchain architect, you can think of them as a digital architect, but instead of buildings, they're designing systems using blockchain. Think of secure, transparent systems for things like finance, even healthcare, supply chains.
So they're building the digital infrastructure of the future. I mean, that's a pretty cool gig.
It is.
And RoleCatcher's career guide actually goes into detail about the work environment, mentioning things like,
Yeah.
excellent salary potential, the possibility of working remotely.
It's definitely got some great perks.
Yeah, lots of perks.
Absolutely. But
Of course.
there's also, the need to constantly be learning because the field is evolving so rapidly.
It changes all the time.
All the time.
CSC on top of it. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's get into the interview questions, the part that everybody loves.
Yeah, the fun stuff.
RoleCatcher has actually 9 sample questions that they've come up with,
Okay.
specifically for blockchain architect roles.
All right.
So let's go through these.
Let's break them down.
And break them down, figure out what are hiring managers actually looking for, and how can you totally nail those answers.
Exactly.
The first one is, what inspired you to pursue a career in blockchain architecture? Which, on the surface, seems like kind of an easy one.
Pretty straightforward.
But I bet there are some nuances here
Definitely.
that we need to
I
kind of unpack.
For sure. This is your chance to actually showcase some genuine passion.
Right. Not just like...
Not just, oh, this is a trendy field.
Right. Yeah. Not just follow the hype.
You really want to think about what sparked your interest in blockchain. Was it the tech's potential? Was it a specific project? Maybe a personal connection to a problem that it solves?
Okay, so instead of just saying, I think blockchain is cool, which, everybody kind of does these days.
Yeah, you got to go deeper.
You need to, articulate why.
Exactly.
Why is it cool?
Exactly. And don't be afraid to actually share your journey. Maybe you were initially interested in finance.
Okay.
And then you discovered blockchain and you're like, wow, this could revolutionize everything.
Right.
Or maybe you were drawn to the decentralized nature of blockchain and its potential impact on social good.
Yeah.
There's lots of different paths.
Yeah, a genuine story, I think, will always resonate more
Absolutely.
than just a kind of canned response.
It makes it more memorable.
And this is where RoleCatcher's AI can come in handy, right?
Yeah.
Because I've heard that it actually analyzes job descriptions and suggests ways to tailor your response to that specific role.
It can. So, for example, if a job description emphasizes innovation and disruption,
right,
the AI might say, hey, highlight your interest in DeFi or NFTs.
Okay.
Show that you are, aware of the latest trends.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
'Cause you always want to kind of tailor your responses to what they're actually looking for.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So question number 2 is, what are the key skills and competencies required to excel as a blockchain architect? So this one feels a little bit more technical.
A little more on the technical side.
Yeah.
Definitely. Here, the interviewer wants to see you, that you understand both technical and soft skills.
Oh.
So you want to be thinking about things like, your programming languages like Solidity,
Right.
cryptography knowledge, and experience with blockchain frameworks like Ethereum or Hyperledger.
So it's important to name drop.
Name drop those specific technologies to show that you understand the tools.
But what about the soft skills? What are we talking about there?
So soft skills are super important as well because blockchain development is highly collaborative.
Oh, okay.
You need to be able to communicate effectively, solve problems, and really work seamlessly with a team.
So I should be thinking about times when I've had to explain a complex technical thing
Exactly.
for someone who's not technical.
Yeah, or times when you had to, collaborate to resolve a tricky issue.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's another area where RoleCatcher's AI can be super helpful. right? Because it can like analyze those responses
Yeah.
and figure out if you're striking the right balance
Yeah, they can give you feedback.
between those technical skills and those soft skills.
Make sure you're not just focusing on one or the other.
That's great. All right, let's move on to question number 3.
Yeah.
This one is, what are some of the biggest challenges you faced as a blockchain architect?
Oh, okay.
So this one feels a little trickier.
This is where they're trying to figure out,
Yeah.
how you handle things when they go wrong.
Right, right.
It can be tricky, but it's a really good opportunity to show off your problem-solving skills.
Yeah.
Walk the interviewer through your approach, how you tackled the problem, what were the steps you took, and what was the result.
Right.
But most importantly, what did you learn from it?
So it's about taking a potential negative and
Yeah.
spinning it into a
Exactly. It shows resilience that
Yeah.
you learn from your mistakes.
What would be like a good example?
So let's say you were tasked with designing a solution for a supply chain, and you ran into scalability issues. You could explain how you researched different solutions,
Right.
like sharding, implemented the right one, and ultimately improved the system.
Yeah, so you're demonstrating that you can,
Exactly.
overcome those challenges
Yeah.
that come up.
Yeah.
And that you
not just going to crumble.
you learn from them.
Yeah.
And use that to improve.
Exactly.
And RoleCatcher's AI, I imagine,
Yeah.
can help you identify those kind of experiences
Absolutely.
from your own past work that would align with what they're talking about in the job description.
It can, and it can even suggest ways to, frame your response in a way that really emphasizes the skills they're looking for.
Right.
It's all about tailoring.
Okay, question number 4 is, how do you approach designing a blockchain solution for a specific use case?
All right, this is where the real architecture skills come into play.
Yeah, the actual,
This is the nitty-gritty.
this is the design part.
Exactly, yeah.
So they want to understand
They want to see your process.
a process.
How you approach designing, how you tailor solutions to meet a specific need.
Okay.
It's all about showcasing your ability to think critically, analyze, and translate those needs into technical designs.
So you've got to walk them through like your step-by-step
Yeah.
approach and kind of hit on the
Key considerations.
considerations along the way. Where do I even begin with that?
So I would start with, gathering requirements. What problem are you trying to solve?
Right.
What are the specific needs of the users and the stakeholders?
Yeah.
And then do a feasibility analysis. Is blockchain even the right technology for this?
Okay. So don't just assume that it is.
Right. You don't want to just jump in, guns blazing.
Right.
You want to make sure it's actually the right tool for the job.
Okay. Yeah, and then what?
Okay. So once you've figured out, blockchain is the way to go,
Right.
then you need to pick the right platform.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Are you going to go with a public blockchain like Ethereum, something private like Hyperledger, or maybe a hybrid approach?
Right.
Each one has its own pluses and minuses.
Okay. So you got to know the landscape,
Show that you understand the different
the different platforms.
platforms and when to use which one.
Exactly. And then you get into the actual design of the solution.
Okay.
That's where you really dive into the specifics, right?
Right.
You talk about things like consensus mechanisms, smart contracts, data storage.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it.
But RoleCatcher's AI
Yeah.
can help me figure out which parts of that design process to emphasize.
Exactly. So if the job description mentions secure smart contracts,
Right.
AI might say, hey, talk about your experience with Solidity or gas optimization,
Right.
things like that.
Okay, that's really helpful.
Yeah, it can help you really fine-tune your answers.
All right, now before we go into the next set of questions.
I want to take a step back and talk a little bit about the career trajectory of a blockchain architect.
Okay, yeah.
RoleCatcher's career guide outlines the different stages of a blockchain career, from junior level all the way up to like leadership positions.
That's right. And they even give examples of, people at each stage.
Oh, okay.
You can really see what skills you need, what experience you need,
Hey.
and what you'll be doing.
So somebody just starting out, they might be like assisting more senior architects.
Exactly.
Whereas a senior architect might be leading projects and, collaborating with
Stakeholders.
stakeholders.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as you gain more experience,
Right.
you can move into more senior roles.
So there's room for growth,
Absolutely.
which is always a good thing to know,
Yeah, it's good to know there's a path.
that there's a path upward.
Exactly.
And RoleCatcher provides, resources and guidance to help you navigate each step of the way.
Yeah, they've got everything from like insights into what skills and certifications are valuable
Oh, okay.
to networking opportunities to even career coaching.
Wow.
They've got it all.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump back into those interview questions.
All right, let's do
We
it.
got a few more to unpack.
Let's go. All right, let's tackle the next question.
Okay.
This one is, how do you ensure the security and privacy of data in a blockchain solution?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because we all know blockchain is,
Yeah, it's supposed to be secure.
secure, yeah. But
Yeah.
it's not a magic bullet, right?
Yeah.
There are still things you need to consider.
So a blockchain architect needs to understand those nuances. Like, it's not just about the fact that the ledger is immutable. There's more to it than that.
Exactly. You've got to think about things like data encryption, access control, vulnerability testing.
So like building a fortress around that data.
Exactly, a digital fortress.
And it's not just about preventing like hackers, right? It's also about making sure that you're compliant with like data privacy regulations.
Oh, absolutely. Things like GDPR.
GDPR.
You got to know your stuff.
A blockchain architect needs to be like a security expert, a legal expert,
Yeah.
and of course a tech whiz all rolled into one.
It was a multifaceted role for sure.
What kind of experience would really impress an interviewer, when answering this question?
I would say real world examples.
Okay.
So have you ever found a vulnerability in a project? How did you fix it? Did you implement like multi-factor authentication
Right.
or did a security audit? Things like that show that you can actually handle the real world problems.
That you've been there, done that.
Exactly.
And I'm guessing RoleCatcher's AI can help me kind of sift through my past experiences
It can.
and find the ones that are relevant.
Absolutely. It can even suggest which security points to emphasize based on the job description,
Right.
like having a little security consultant.
In your back pocket.
Exactly.
Okay, question number 6. How do you ensure the scalability and performance of a blockchain solution? Now, I've heard that scalability can be a bit of a bottleneck.
Yeah, that's one of the big challenges with blockchain. As those networks grow and the transactions increase,
Right.
you need to make sure that things stay fast and efficient.
So they want to know that I'm aware of that challenge
Yeah.
and that I have, like, strategies.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to show that you understand things like sharding, side chains, off-chain transactions.
Right. Those are all, like, solutions for scalability.
Exactly. And it's one thing to just, be able to explain those concepts,
Right.
but have you actually used them in a project?
Ah, okay. Have you dealt with this in the real world?
Yeah, give them some real-world examples.
Because that's always more compelling, right?
Absolutely.
Than just like, oh, yeah, I read about that.
I've read it in a textbook.
Yeah, I took a course on it,
Yeah.
but you haven't actually done it. And again, RoleCatcher's AI can help me kind of assess my knowledge of those concepts and make sure that
It can analyze your experiences.
I'm explaining it properly.
And suggest specific examples to really highlight those skills.
Okay, great. Question number 7. How do you stay updated on the latest trends and developments in the blockchain industry? This one feels a little less technical, more about like your passion, your curiosity.
Absolutely. This is where you show that you're, really engaged with the community.
All right.
That you're not just, clocking in and clocking out.
You live and breathe blockchain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So are you going to conferences? Are you reading industry publications, participating in like online forums, that kind of thing?
So this is where like mentioning open source contributions.
Yeah.
Or personal projects.
It shows that you're going above and beyond.
Right. You're not just, reading about it. You're actually doing it.
Absolutely. And RoleCatcher talks a lot about continuous learning in their career guide.
Yeah, they really emphasize that.
Always be exploring, always be experimenting.
That's cool. They even have a section on networking opportunities, which I think is super valuable.
Oh, networking is huge.
Yeah, in any field,
Especially in blockchain.
especially in such a fast-moving.
Yeah, where things change so quickly.
You got to know the right people. You got
Yeah.
to be talking to the right people.
Exactly. Attending those meetups, having those conversations.
It's all about those connections.
Absolutely.
Okay, so question number 8. What is your experience in designing and implementing smart contracts? Now, this feels like the core of blockchain development.
This is where you get to show off your coding skills
Okay.
and your understanding of how smart contracts work. Be ready to talk about your experience with Solidity, Viper.
So I should talk about specific projects that I've worked on, the challenges, the solutions.
Exactly. Give them the details, the types of contracts you've designed, the platforms you've used, the results you've achieved.
Don't be afraid to get a little technical.
Yeah, geek out a little bit.
Show off that expertise. Yeah, absolutely.
And I remember you mentioned earlier that RoleCatcher's AI can help me tailor my response based on the job description.
It can. It can even analyze your answers and give you feedback on your technical understanding.
Oh, wow.
Maybe suggest some areas where you can improve.
That's amazing. Like having a personalized smart contract mentor.
Exactly.
Okay, we're on the last question now.
All right, bring it on.
Question number 9. How do you approach collaborating with cross-functional teams in designing and implementing blockchain solutions?
Teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Exactly. Because blockchain projects, they rarely happen in isolation.
Right.
You're going to be working with developers, business analysts, project managers.
Right, the whole shebang.
Yeah, you got to be a team player.
So they want to see that I can communicate these complex technical concepts
Yes.
to people who aren't technical.
To the non-techies?
And that I can, manage expectations, resolve conflicts. Exactly. So share some examples of how you've done that in the past,
Yeah.
How you facilitated communication, how you resolved disagreements.
So basically, I need to show that I can, build consensus, that I can foster a positive team environment.
Yeah.
That I can make sure everyone feels heard and understood.
Absolutely.
Any tips for, really showcasing those collaboration skills?
I would say focus on examples where you really had to bridge that gap between the technical folks and the non-technical folks.
Okay.
Like maybe you had to explain a complex concept in a way that everyone could understand.
Right.
Or you found a creative solution that, met everyone's needs.
That's a great, great point.
Highlight those moments.
And of course, RoleCatcher's AI can help me, analyze my responses and make sure that
It can give you feedback on your communication style.
I'm coming across as collaborative and a team player.
And suggest ways to strengthen your approach based on the job.
Amazing. Okay, we covered a lot of ground here. We broke down those 9, super important interview questions.
The 9 essential questions.
And we got a glimpse into what a career as a blockchain architect actually looks like.
The path to blockchain glory.
Yeah, the path to glory.
It's out there.
But before we wrap up, I want to touch on one last thing that RoleCatcher talks about, and that's the importance of staying ahead of the curve.
Oh, yeah, that's crucial.
Because things change so fast in this industry.
Blockchain is evolving at lightning speed.
So how do you keep up?
Well, new platforms are emerging, protocols are changing, applications are coming out left and right.
A lot to keep track of.
It is.
Yeah.
So you have to commit to continuous learning. Stay up to date on the trends. Experiment with those new technologies.
Don't be afraid to try new things. RoleCatcher actually offers resources to help with that. They have courses, certifications.
They even have a feature that lets you track industry news.
Oh, wow.
So you're always in the loop.
So it's not just about, getting that job.
Yeah.
It's about, continuing to learn.
Continuing to grow.
And grow.
And evolve with the industry.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we reached the end of our deep dive into the world of blockchain architects.
We made it.
We made it.
Yeah.
And I feel like we really uncovered some gems here.
We dug deep and found those nuggets of wisdom.
We explored the technical stuff, but also the mindset, the strategies, the resources you need.
Yeah, the whole package.
To really thrive.
The blockchain survival guide.
And RoleCatcher has been such a valuable guide for us throughout this process.
They've been our trusty map.
They offer, career planning tools, interview prep, tons of insights.
Yeah, they're a one-stop shop.
So if you're even remotely interested in a career in blockchain,
even a little bit,
check out their platform.
Seriously, it's worth it.
They make navigating the blockchain world feel less daunting.
Less scary.
Yeah, less scary, more like an adventure.
More like an exciting journey into the unknown.
All right, well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive.
Time to resurface.
Time to come up for air.
Yeah.
But before we go, I have one last question for you.
Okay, hit me.
If you could work on any blockchain solution, anything at all, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I know, right?
There are so many cool things happening.
So many possibilities.
But if I had to choose, I think I'd be most drawn to something that uses blockchain for good,
Right.
Like maybe a project that makes supply chains more transparent or
Right.
helps people in developing countries access financial services.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that gets me excited.
Using blockchain to actually make a difference.
Exactly. That's what it's all about.
Well, that's a great note to end on.
Yeah.
blockchain isn't just about the tech, it's about the impact.
Absolutely.
It's about the potential to change the world.
That's what makes it so exciting.
All right, that's it for our deep dive.
Thanks for joining us.
Happy deep diving. It's really cool how RoleCatcher focuses on, like, not just getting you a job, but making sure it's the right job.
Yeah, they really want you to find the right fit.
Speaking of which, I noticed they have this feature called Career Compass. What is that?
Well, that's cool. It's like a personalized guide.
Okay.
It takes your skills, your interests, your experience, and suggests different paths you could take within blockchain.
So it's not just like, okay, you want to be a blockchain architect, here's how to do it.
Right, it's more than that.
It actually helps you explore different roles.
Yeah, it opens up the possibilities.
Okay.
It gives you insights into like what each role entails, what you'd be doing, even potential salary ranges.
Oh, that's super helpful.
And it's all tailored to you.
So it takes the guesswork out of it.
Exactly.
Especially in a field that's changing so fast.
And it's always being updated with new data, so you're always in the know.
That's amazing. It seems like RoleCatcher's really committed to not just helping people find a job,
Yeah.
but helping them find a career.
Yeah, a career that they're actually passionate about.
That's fantastic. Well, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of blockchain architecture.
You made it to the bottom?
And we found some really valuable insights along the way.
We did. We explored the technical stuff, the mindset, the strategies, and even the resources that are out there.
And RoleCatcher has been such a helpful guide throughout this entire journey.
They've been our trusty sidekick.
So if you're interested in blockchain, even just a little bit, check them out.
Seriously, you won't regret it.
They make the blockchain world seem less intimidating, more like an exciting opportunity.
More like an adventure waiting to be had.
Exactly. Well, that's it for our deep dive.
Thanks for coming along for the ride.
Happy deep diving.